Time is now. It's back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth, straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Planet, the Metropolis. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now is the time. Time to unwind from the back. Time, time to unwind because it's back to the rhyme. Man, what a failure. I didn't even have my mic set up. I thought I'd try a different angle. That wasn't so exciting either. All right, let's get back to the list. Oh, I should have checked one more thing. I can do that real quick. Hold on. I'll just talk. So, oops. So, hold on. This is part of it's a YouTube channel I'm checking out. I have two YouTube channels, and I got that and that. Still the same. All right. So, I've been able to maybe merge the two, but it's just on my to-do list. Not much is happening for me because I'm at the post office. It's a busy time of year, busier than ever. Mobile mall or the mobile mall, but realistically, between now and January 4th, I have Christmas off and New Year's off, and I don't think a lot will get done on Christmas, but New Year's maybe less stuff scheduled, so to speak. So with the YouTube channel, I just quickly checked the No Hope. It's at 529 views. I had Gary on my route. Where you at, Gary? I hope he's seen my Trump video. I don't know if he has, but he was singing No Hope, No Hope. I like that. It's all good. It's just encouraging, just I didn't, ask for it, but if someone does that, it's, maybe just having fun, but it's all good. So I'll just continue on. So with we've got the Trump videos. I guess I can talk about in a second. As far as the actual channel, stable, I guess I'll just move on. Trump's gonna thump. That's at 339 views. So it's still that 3-to-1 ratio. If I suggest somebody view it or, send a message to, share it or have them type it in, it's about 3 views. Alex, I did talk to Alex, and he said, Alex doesn't like the lyrics. He didn't anything to do with Trump, but he likes the music, which is cool to hear, I guess. Everyone has their different preferences, He says for him, musically, it's his favorite song. For me, it's not my favorite song. Part of it is, we did our best, but I always imagine hoping to get more out of something, but you only can do what you can do. It's pretty good. I mean, a lot of it for that song was just how do you create a bigger presence for like a chant, but really it would take a live performance and an audience to really get that song to be what it's capable of. But yeah, I just looking over the last 30 days, there's 22 views for that song. And I mean, I have been, I came out right around Halloween, I think, and I probably promoted it for about 3 weeks, those invitations. So it's been on the last 28 days is what they look at. Still has a little life, I'm not promoting a lot, but it's got a little life. And I did try to get an update with what's going on with I really don't have a clear idea what's happening in terms of, the election. Is everything settled? Is it a settled election? That's unclear to me. Like, I just don't hear a lot about it. That's kind of what I want to say. If I were a media, conservative media or whatever, I'd be talking about this all the time because it's everything in terms of what's going to be happening here in January. Um, my wife asked me what's going on. I don't even really know what to say, you know. I mean, the media has their agenda, and that's is what it is. But anyway, I'm unsure what's going to happen. Okay, so a better bread. Talked to Aaron extensively yesterday. That was nice. Good to see him. And it's gonna happen. Okay, I guess on the Trump's gonna thump. So Dale, thank you. He sent me the WAV file, and now today I downloaded it, so it's in the computer. Next move is to go back to CD Baby and upload it. I assume they're asking for a WAV file. I have the WAV file, but then I haven't had the, even my day off. Didn't really get much done. I worked a little. I guess I did have that in my possession before my day off, the day before. I wasn't really expecting it, but it didn't matter. I mean, I was more tired on my day off than on my days I worked, which is crazy when you're working 12, 13-hour days, walking around virtually all day. So that's crazy. And even though I did wear myself out, partly is because we got a fantasy basketball league. Not as excited about fantasy basketball, not as excited about the NBA. Heck, who knows that these players are going to be sitting the bench for little illnesses all the time and where they're going to play, and there's no audience, and on and on. But I set up this league, and I'm not just going to end it. We're not going to charge, but that's a lot of work. But anyway, that took up a lot of energy. I'm just telling you this because I only have so much time, discretionary time, and I used it for that. And it's good to connect with those folks, but it's all good. I like numbers and stats, and if I can just block out all the nonsense, I like basketball big time. Rules of engagement. So that's just the bill I'm paying for learning about that. I still have a few more things to check with Neil, and I guess he's gonna run up my bill. So I've been in the hole, but thanks to the customers on my route, I'm taking that money they're giving me and putting it into this. That's all I have, and they're not giving me money for this, but they're giving me Christmas tips, some of them, and I'm thankful for that. That just doesn't come out of our bills or anything. I can just move it to that and get recovered on that. You will be glorified. I'm waiting to make a move on that. That can happen pretty decent if Yumi's up for it. I just haven't got to it. Bellevue Ballers, this wall back here, I bang my head. I'm not a head banger, but I'll bang, just bang in my head with my continuing education. How can I put time into this project? Because that's the one that can really fund whatever operation I want. It's not easy, but it's something I'm working on because it's the thing to do. My Reformation music video, working on it. But it's just like it's install mode. And now music. So the music, so what I was going to say is talk to Luke and talk to Bo. So I'm trying to get Bo and Luke together. Bo and Luke got to meet. They're two addresses from each other on my route, but they don't know each other by name, even though their names are Bo and Luke. If your name's Bo and the guy two down from you's name's Luke, you really ought to know each other. So I'm just having fun. I thought about that. I'm like, all right, I like that. Let's get these guys together. Now, if your name's Bo, you're probably going to know a few Lukes because Luke's pretty common. There's not a ton of Bos out here, but if we can get a Bo and Luke together, that'd be good. So that's what's happening with that. So I would, like I said, I've got 5 tracks from Mark, Talked to John, but nothing set. Alex talked about doing some music together. We can do that in January. And Bo, we gotta get Bo, because I was telling Luke, Bo can make music. He doesn't have the full setup, but he can make the beats, which is far more than I can do. And so Fridays are the days, but it's not gonna happen this Friday because this Friday is Christmas. It's not gonna happen next Friday, 'cause next Friday's New Year's. So how come I'm off on the 4th? Is that right? I have to look at the calendar, but I'm shooting for the first Friday of the new year. Gosh, that doesn't seem right, but I guess it's right. Okay. So that's the music. There's that's progress though. School Us album sales. So thank you to Shane. Shane, I hope you checked out the video. My man from back in the day. Here's another guy, Shane, who can, we went to high school together. I've been knowing Shane. And, he could make a beat here or there. He knows, I don't know what he'd want to rap about, but that's somebody I know and still know, which is cool because there's not a ton of people I'm still in touch with from school, but I'm in touch with him. And let's see, but he's going to get the album. He came in third last year in the fantasy basketball, and he's turning that money, he's reinvesting into this, and that's really nice of him. Okay. Well, that's the update. Oh, and I sold to 40. So that's a shout out to Duckett Homes. That's Colo Banker. That's a shout out. So we get these real estate guys. I mean, Luke, we got 40. You're buying the album, I'll promote all y'all. Maybe you have different niches, and I have to learn what they are so I can know who to send to where. All right, to who, send who to who. All right, so that's that. And I mentioned that election current events. I might as well just get back to the rhymes. I got, 17 minutes. Now, what can I get done on this song? The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. So, I mean, you want to get, I gotta, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. That's the hook. So, and I remembered that. I didn't know how to write it down. The bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble. So, you get like this. The bubble later. Should have talked to Aaron about that. He's a little older and he's from here. If he ever rode on the bubble later, I wonder who I could talk to and find who ever took a trip on the bubble later. The bubble later. And so maybe that would be an okay way to start the song, because I really hadn't thought too much about that. I'll say that. Had you ever took a trip on the bubble later? Because I think we got to get that thing functional again. It can't just sit in someone's yard idle. It needs to be moving up and down, up and down. All right. So, had you ever took a trip? So we got to put this out there so people could be getting excited about the idea of riding on it. The thing about that bubble later, I've got everyone on my route. I saw down at Green Lake, I don't know if it was a church, but 5 women singing in their own little mini bubbleators, and they weren't getting wet. It was raining, so they kind of had a good excuse. Head to toe plastic. It'd be like a shower curtain all the way around you, and then they had a good umbrella on the top, singing Christmas carols, and it sounded, Christmas carols. Christmas carols. Well, they're in classical music, they talk about sacred, secular. I heard the sacred ones singing for people at Green Lake, and they had a little sign in front of them while I was walking behind them, but people would stop and check it out. And I don't know what the sign said, but I don't know what happened up in Mountain Vernon, wherever that is, but maybe they got them all freaked out about choirs or something. But anyway, that was incredible, and you could barely hear them. You know, what did it say? Yeah, I was singing about times of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, times. I think it was that comfort and joy, and I'm just like, man, I don't feel any of that. I mean, I guess you just gotta close your eyes and go there. One thing, listening to old Christmas songs, and you think about I mean, you talk about the happy days. I mean, probably the entire, I don't know, history of America. I mean, for sure in the last however many years, you just think of happy days, and at least the in your head you could think, man, there's not a care in the world, and that stuff can't last forever because people who are living like that are bound to get something's going to happen. It's not going to last. You got to stay on guard for the wolves out there. But man, yeah, it was not comfort and joy in a bubble. Yeah. But anyway, okay. So they were in their own mini bubbleators, and I showed my daughter the Jetsons, and they had their little bubbles that they would, Elroy going to school in his own little bubble. Heck, he could stay in that in his what is that when it's got its own little deal taking him to school. He could just stay in it and stay in class. It'd be good, right? Had you ever took a trip on the bubble leader? I can do it just like that. Had you ever took a trip on the bubble leader? Guess it's a capital, right? The bubble leader. Ever took a trip on the bubble leader? One thing I like to think about is those are like from my childhood days. So it's really, in my mind, it's close to just, if you're at the Seattle Center and all the stuff going on, and, it's nice. It was fun. Did you ever took a trip on the bubble leader? I had in the memories I see. Boy, that's hard. That's mouthy. That's word. In those memories I see. Had you ever took a trip on the bubble leader? I had in the memory, and those are memories I save. I had in those memories I save. I mean, realistically, like I said, it was there until I was 8 years old. So I never went on it when I was a teenager or anything. So my only experience would have been as a little kid. I mean, 8 or younger. What is this? You're taking it all in. I had in those memories I saved. I mean, who needs the Space Needle? Who needs this? Yeah, right. Who needs the Space Needle? I gotta ask some English person. I was saying, had you ever took a trip on the bubbleator? Is that a question? Like, this is a question. Who needs the Space Needle? Because of the way I'm saying it. I'll take the bubbleator and the Weedle. Give me the bubbleator and the Weedle. All right. Who knows what who the Weedle is? See? The Weedle and the Needle. And I thought that was a mascot. The Sonic's mascot? Sonic started in 1969, right? After the World's Fair, but it's still kind of, the Sonics, Boeing, I guess. Weedle, what is that? All right, give me the bubbleator and the Weedle. You gotta say it like that. Had you ever took a trip on the bubbleator? I had, and those memories are savor. Who needs the Space Needle? Give me the bubbleator and the Weedle. Most of these guys want. They just want the weed without the O. No, I do need to talk about this. All right, so let me just write it. I'm gonna find out what happened through my writing this. Okay. I'm just gonna go off. I'm just gonna go off. Shouldn't even number these things. Let me just tell this story and that'll be the verse. I'm just gonna stop. The lines are, I'm just gonna go off. I don't care. I'm talking about back in the day. Just so I have my years correct. I'm sorry. I'll talk and do this. 1980. Yep. All right. The lines around the block. Only 8. Another 3 hours. That's how long we gotta wait. What? I'm drawing a blank on how to spell wait. I know how to spell wait for W. My God, I'm that's scary. I wasn't remembering how to spell WAIT wait. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. Oh man, Don't tell me I got something going on. I don't want to say. All right. Okay. Another 3 hours is how long we gotta wait. We never saw the difference that would make. Difference. Gosh, my spelling is struggling. That would make. Must have. All our friends saw the first. All my friends saw the first. Oh my, you gonna write that in there? For God's sake. For God's sake. I could. My friend saw the first. For God's sake. But buck, star, buck. That is something. There's something. Dang, that's the bubble. The bubble. I'm just going off crazy in this. It doesn't matter. So that you wait. The bubble. The bubble. The bubble. The bubble. The bubble. The bubble. The bubble later. I'll just say. Uh, I don't want to write all that bubble stuff. I know what it is. All right, the bubble, the bubble. So I got enough time for the first verse, maybe. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. Had you ever took a trip on the bubble later? I had, and those memories I savor. Who needs a space needle? Give me the bubbleator and the Weedle. The lines around the block, and I'm only 8. Another 3 hours is how long we gotta wait. We never saw the first, a difference that would make. All my friends saw the first, for God's sake. But Buck Star Buck, there's something that you ain't. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. They bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble later. They bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble later. They bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble, they bubble later. Dropping hints of what I'm talking about, but I didn't come out and say what I'm talking about. And I'll continue the story next time.
when I get back to the rhyme,